Have you ever calculated the true cost of your comfort? Not in currency, but in character. Have you measured the weight of the hours you trade for distraction, the silent tax levied on your potential each time you choose the easy path? You believe you are making choices, but are you merely obeying appetites you never consented to have? These are not questions of finance. They are questions of dominion. You are leaking power with every unexamined decision, every moment of weakness disguised as a well-deserved reward. And this quiet erosion is the architecture of a life you did not design. The world around you is a storm, a chaotic marketplace of fear and desire. It does not want you to be disciplined. It profits from your anxiety, your impulsivity, your need for external validation. It sells you remedies for wounds it inflames. To navigate this chaos is to engage in a form of mental warfare. You must learn to see the invisible currents, to build an internal citadel so formidable that the tempests of the external world cannot breach its walls. This is not about accumulating wealth. It is about forging a spirit that wealth cannot corrupt and poverty cannot break. We will not speak of budgets and portfolios. We will speak of the rituals that build an unshakable core. We will dissect the 10 laws of inner silence that allow a man to hear the subtle commands of his own will amidst the noise. These are not life hacks. They are spiritual drills designed to recalibrate your perception of value, time, and fear itself. Each ritual is a stone laid in the foundation of a new mind, an instrument for carving order from the marble of chaos. What you are about to witness is a blueprint for becoming the master of the one empire that truly matters, the self. Prepare yourself. The principles to be revealed are simple, yet their execution demands a level of honesty most will avoid. They will act as a mirror, reflecting not what you wish to see, but the man you are when no one is watching. The process will be uncomfortable, for it requires you to dismantle the habits that have defined you. You will be asked to weigh your desires and find most of them hollow, to confront your fears and recognize them as shadows. This is the price of true freedom, a currency of discipline paid in the solitude of your own mind. Therefore, the question is not what you can gain in the next 30 days. The question is who you must become. Who must you be to command respect without speaking a word, to possess wealth without being possessed by it, to face uncertainty with the calm of a philosopher and the resolve of a general? The path is open. The knowledge that forged emperors and guided sages is before you. The only remaining question is whether you have the courage to walk it. Observe the transaction, the simple exchange of currency for an object or a service. You see it as a mechanical act, a necessity of modern life governed by numbers and budgets. But you are mistaken. Every time your hand extends, you are not merely spending money. You are casting a vote for the person you intend to become. Each purchase is a declaration of your values, a signature on the invisible contract that defines your character. You are building your future self with the bricks of your daily expenses, yet you do so unconsciously, guided by impulses you mistake for your own will. Look deeper. Beneath the surface of that transaction lies a chain of command. Is it your rational mind, your logos, that gives the order? Or is it an echo of an advertisement, a pang of social anxiety, a fleeting desire to fill an inner void? Most are commanded by ghosts, the fear of missing out, the hunger for approval, the need for a momentary anesthetic against the quiet hum of dissatisfaction. They believe they are exercising freedom, yet their choices are scripted by external forces. Their bank accounts are not ledgers of their wealth, but diaries of their vulnerabilities. This is the first battlefield, the space between stimulus and response. An insult is offered, and anger is the automatic reply. A new product is displayed, and desire is the programmed reaction. This lack of space is the source of all financial slavery. The man who cannot pause, who cannot interrogate the origin of his own impulses, is not a free man. He is a puppet. and his strings are pulled by the market, by his peers, by the unexamined appetites of his lower nature. He works to earn money only to surrender it to the very forces that keep him weak. The first Stoic ritual, therefore, is not about saving, but about silence. It is the practice of creating a sacred pause. Before every non-essential purchase, you must stop. You must hold the impulse in the light of your reason. You are to become a gatekeeper of your own mind. You must ask a single merciless question: does this serve the fortress within? This is not an act of deprivation. It is an act of supreme authority, the reclaiming of a power you have freely given away for far too long. Imagine your mind as a city and your desires as merchants arriving at the gates. The undisciplined man leaves his gates unguarded. Any merchant selling any trinket or poison is allowed entry. Soon the city is chaotic, filled with noise, its resources depleted, its citizens enslaved to fleeting pleasures. The Stoic, however, stands guard. He examines every merchant, every wagon, every claim. He asks, what is your purpose here? Do you bring strength to my city, or do you seek only to plunder it? Most are turned away. This is how you begin to practice. One day at a time, one purchase at a time. The coffee you buy out of habit, the subscription you rarely use, the upgrade you don't need, each one is a test. Each pause is a rep in the training of your will. You are not just saving a few dollars. You are rewiring the very circuitry of your mind. You are teaching your body, your nerves, your impulses that they no longer rule. A new authority has taken command. Through this simple, repeated act of vigilance, a profound transformation occurs. The noise begins to quiet. The frantic urgency of desire begins to fade. You discover that what you thought was a need was merely a well-marketed suggestion. You begin to understand that true wealth is not the ability to buy anything you want, but the strength to not want what you do not need. Your freedom is measured not by the size of your bank account, but by the space you create between impulse and action. This is your first task. For the next 7 days, practice the sacred pause. Observe the merchants who arrive at your gates. Where does the battle between your reason and your appetite rage the most fiercely? What is the one purchase that consistently bypasses your guard? Acknowledge its power in the silence below, and you will have taken the first step towards starving it of its command. Now, consider the nature of your attention. It is your most valuable, non-renewable currency. Where you invest it, your reality takes shape. The modern world is a grand conspiracy to steal this currency from you. The screen in your pocket, the endless scroll, the constant notifications, they are designed to fracture your focus into 1,000 useless shards. A divided mind is a conquered mind. A conquered mind cannot build wealth, it cannot build discipline, and it cannot build a life of purpose. It can only consume. You believe you are multitasking, that you are being efficient, but you are merely practicing the art of being nowhere fully. Your mind flits from one distraction to another, never settling, never penetrating the surface of any single thought or task. This chronic state of distraction is not just a mental habit, it is a form of spiritual poverty. You are forfeiting your power to think deeply, to connect with your own inner voice, to be present in your own life. And this poverty of attention inevitably leads to a poverty of finances. The man who cannot control his focus cannot control his spending. His impulses are perpetually inflamed by the endless stream of curated desires fed to him. He sees a lifestyle he is told he should want, a product he is assured he needs, a success that feels just out of reach. He is trapped in a state of perpetual wanting, a hamster on a wheel, running toward a horizon that recedes with every step. This is not living. It is a high-tech form of servitude. The chains are invisible, but they are no less real. The second Stoic ritual, then, is the reclamation of focus. It is the practice of intentional solitude, the deliberate creation of unscheduled time. This is your temple. For a set period each day, it can be as little as 15 minutes, you are to disconnect from all external input. No screens, no music, no podcasts, no books. There is only you and your thoughts. At first, this silence will feel like a storm. Your mind, addicted to stimulus, will rebel. It will scream for distraction. This is the withdrawal. You must endure it. Imagine you are taming a wild horse. It will buck and resist. It will fight for the familiar chaos. Your job is to sit calmly, to hold the reins gently but firmly, and to let the storm pass. You are not fighting your thoughts. You are simply observing them without judgment. You are allowing the muddy water of your mind to settle so that clarity may emerge from the depths. This is the training ground for deep work and disciplined living. With practice, something remarkable begins to happen. The storm subsides, the frantic energy dissipates. In its place, a quiet clarity emerges. You begin to hear your own voice again, distinct from the chorus of external demands. You begin to see your financial life not as a series of disconnected reactions, but as a unified whole, a project to be designed with intention. You start to solve problems that once seemed insurmountable, simply because you have given yourself the space to think. This recovered focus becomes your superpower. It allows you to work with an intensity that others, with their fractured attention, cannot match. It allows you to see the long-term consequences of your financial decisions, to distinguish between an investment in your future and a tax on your weakness. You are no longer a passive consumer of information. You are a deliberate architect of your own mind. You are forging a weapon that no external chaos can break. Your second task is to build this temple of silence. Find a time, a place, and commit to it. What is the greatest thief of your attention? What is the one distraction you fear letting go of the most? Confess its name below, not as a weakness, but as a dragon you are now choosing to face. The act of naming it is the first act of slaying it. Let us speak of fear, specifically the fear of loss. This is the phantom that governs the financial lives of most men. It is the fear of losing a job, losing savings, losing status, losing comfort. This fear, when left unexamined, becomes the architect of a prison. You choose the safe career over the one that calls to your soul. You hoard money you never allow yourself to use. You cling to possessions that own you. You live a small, cautious life, not because you lack ambition, but because you are terrified of the fall. This fear is a liar. It whispers to you that security is found in accumulation, that your fortress is built of assets and numbers in a bank account. And so you build your walls higher and higher, yet the feeling of insecurity never leaves. Why? Because the foundation is built on sand. You are trying to solve an internal problem with an external solution. The fear of loss is not a financial problem, it is a psychological one. It is born from an over-attachment to things that are, by their very nature, impermanent. The undisciplined mind believes that its well-being is tied to its possessions. My house, my car, my portfolio. This sense of "my" is the root of the anxiety. It creates a fragile identity, one that can be shattered by a market downturn, a pink slip, or an unexpected expense. You spend your life guarding a collection of things that can be taken from you at any moment by the indifferent hand of fortune. This is not a strategy for wealth. It is a recipe for perpetual anxiety. The third Stoic ritual is the practice of voluntary hardship, or what Seneca called rehearsing poverty. This is not an act of masochism. It is a calculated and controlled exposure to the very things you fear. It is a vaccine against the terror of loss. For 1 or 2 days a month, you deliberately live with less. You eat the simplest of meals. You abstain from all but the most essential comforts. You wear your plainest clothes. You actively embrace the conditions you spend the rest of your month working to avoid. You are conducting a strategic experiment on your own resilience. You are stepping into the shadow and realizing it is not a monster. You are asking your body and mind a direct question. If I lost all of this, would I break? And the answer that comes back, in the quiet strength of your own endurance, is a resounding no. You discover that you are tougher than you thought. You find that your happiness is not tethered to your comfort. You learn that your spirit is a resource that no market crash can ever deplete. The experience is transformative. The fear of loss begins to loosen its grip. You are no longer making decisions from a place of scarcity and terror. You begin to take calculated risks, to invest with courage, to pursue opportunities you would have once shied away from. You can negotiate for a higher salary with more confidence, because you are no longer terrified of hearing no. You can walk away from a toxic job because you know you can survive on less. You have separated your identity from your net worth. This ritual breaks the golden chains of comfort that keep so many imprisoned. It teaches you the profound difference between what you want and what you need. You realize how little is required for a good life, a life of purpose, of contribution, of inner peace. The world of frantic consumerism begins to look like a form of madness. You have found a source of wealth that is internal, untouchable, and infinite. Your third task is to schedule your rehearsal. It need not be extreme. Perhaps it is forgoing all purchased coffees for a week. Perhaps it is eating simple oats and rice for 2 days. Choose your own controlled hardship. In what area of your life does the fear of loss have the most power over you? Identify it. Write it down. Then take one small, deliberate step toward proving that fear a liar. Consider the words you use, both internally and externally. Your language is not merely descriptive, it is creative. With your words, you build the frame through which you view your reality. Your financial situation is not just a collection of numbers. It is a story, and you are the narrator. The story you tell yourself about your money will inevitably become your reality. Are you telling a story of scarcity, of struggle, of victimhood, or are you telling a story of discipline, of opportunity, of authorship? Most people narrate their financial lives with the language of passivity and complaint. I can't afford it. I'll never get out of debt. The economy is terrible. It's not fair. This language is a cage. It absolves you of responsibility. It frames you as a helpless passenger in a vehicle driven by external forces. When you speak these words, you are casting a spell of powerlessness upon yourself. You're programming your subconscious mind to seek out evidence that confirms this narrative, thereby ensuring its continuation. This victim narrative is comfortable. It shields you from the terrifying burden of true ownership. If the fault lies elsewhere, then you have no obligation to change. You can remain in the familiar misery of your circumstances, finding solace in the sympathy of others who are telling themselves the same story. This is the shared bond of the powerless, but this comfort comes at an unbearable price: your agency. You are trading your potential for the meager prize of being right about your own limitations. The fourth Stoic ritual is the mastery of your internal lexicon. It is the conscious and deliberate choice to speak about your financial life from a position of power and responsibility. This is not about empty affirmations or toxic positivity. It is about precision and agency. You will replace the language of victimhood with the language of action. I can't afford it becomes I am choosing not to allocate my resources to that right now. The difference is profound. The first is a closed door. The second is a strategic decision made by a person in control. You must become a vigilant editor of your own thoughts. When you catch yourself narrating a story of lack or complaint, you must stop. You must challenge the thought. Is it true? Is it useful? What is a more powerful, more responsible way to frame this situation? Instead of, I'm drowning in debt, try, I have a strategic challenge to solve, and here is my plan to dismantle it. You are shifting your identity from that of a victim to that of a strategist. The problem does not change, but your capacity to solve it expands exponentially. This practice extends to how you speak with others. Cease participating in conversations of financial complaint. Do not bond with others over shared scarcity. When a friend complains about money, listen but do not join the chorus. Instead, gently reframe. Ask questions that shift the focus from the problem to potential solutions. You will become an island of agency in a sea of helplessness. Some will be drawn to your strength, others will retreat, for your discipline is a mirror to their own lack of it. By changing your language, you are not just changing your mindset. You are altering the very fabric of your reality. Opportunities that were once invisible to you will suddenly appear. Solutions that seemed impossible will become obvious. You will attract people and resources that are aligned with your new narrative of empowerment. Your financial life will begin to reorganize itself around the new story you are telling. You are no longer just reacting to your circumstances, you are creating them. Your fourth task is to become the editor of your own mind. For the next week, keep a log. Every time you catch yourself using the language of a victim, write it down. Then, beside it, rewrite the thought from the perspective of a strategist, an owner, a Stoic. What is the one disempowering phrase you use most often about your money? Share it below, and then in the same comment, reforge it into a statement of power. This is your first act of conscious narration. Observe the flow of time. It moves in only one direction. Every second that passes is a coin spent from a finite inheritance, a coin that can never be recovered. Yet how much of this treasure do you squander? You trade hours of your irreplaceable life for cheap entertainment, for scrolling through the curated lives of others, for tasks that produce no value. Then you trade more hours at a job, often one you do not love, to earn the money to pay for these distractions. This is the great trap. You have been taught to budget your money, but have you ever been taught to budget your time? This is the fundamental error of modern financial advice. It focuses on the symptom, the mismanagement of money, while ignoring the disease, the mismanagement of life. Your financial problems are not the cause of your stress. They are a direct result of a life lived without intention. You are leaking your life force through 1,000 tiny holes of unexamined habits. The man who does not value his time will never be wealthy in any meaningful sense. He can win the lottery and he will still be poor, for he will squander the wealth as he squanders his days. He lacks the underlying structure of purpose upon which true wealth is built. He is a ship without a rudder, at the mercy of every current and every passing storm. He chases momentary pleasures, always moving but never arriving, because he has no destination. The fifth Stoic ritual is the practice of memento mori. Remember, you will die. This is not a morbid obsession, it is the ultimate tool for prioritization. When you hold the reality of your own mortality at the forefront of your mind, the trivialities of modern life are stripped away. The fear of what others think, the desire for unnecessary possessions, the lure of time-wasting distractions, they all turn to dust in the face of your finitude. You are given the gift of radical clarity. You must live each day as if it were your last, not in a hedonistic sense, but in a purposeful one. Before engaging in any activity, ask yourself, if this were the last day of my life, is this how I would choose to spend my hours? This question is a blade that cuts through the noise. It forces you to confront the delta between the life you are living and the life you are capable of living. It makes every decision, financial and otherwise, a matter of ultimate significance. This practice transforms your relationship with work and money. Your job is no longer just a means to an end. It is a portion of your life. You begin to demand more from it. Not just more money, but more meaning, more alignment with your values. You stop tolerating a toxic environment or a soul-crushing commute because you understand you are trading your life for it. You begin to see money not as something to be earned for the sake of consumption, but as a tool to buy back your time, to purchase your freedom. With this perspective, your financial decisions become incredibly simple. Is this purchase, this subscription, this expense worth a piece of my life? When you frame it this way, the allure of cheap dopamine fades. You would rather have an hour of deep work, a walk in nature, a conversation with a loved one, than the latest gadget. You begin to build a life that is rich in experience, in purpose, in freedom, a life that money serves, rather than a life in service to money. Your fifth task is to live with this awareness. Place a reminder, a skull, an hourglass, a simple note. Somewhere you will see it every day. Let it be your silent mentor. At the end of each day this week, reflect on one way this awareness changed a decision you made. Where in your daily routine do you most often forget the value of your time? Confess this temporal leak below, and in doing so, begin the work of sealing it. Now, look at the people around you. Your friends, your family, your colleagues. You are the average of the 5 people with whom you spend the most time. This is not a cliché, it is a law of nature. You are a porous being. Their habits, their mindsets, their standards, their financial behaviors, they seep into you whether you are conscious of it or not. If you surround yourself with people who are undisciplined, who complain, who live for momentary pleasure, you will inevitably be dragged down to their level. You may believe you are strong enough to resist their influence. You may feel a sense of loyalty or obligation to maintain these connections, but you are trying to swim upstream against a powerful current. It requires an enormous and constant expenditure of energy just to maintain your position, leaving you with little strength left to move forward. You are choosing to run your race with weights strapped to your ankles. The desire for social belonging is one of a human's most powerful drives. It often overrides our rational judgment. We adopt the spending habits of our social circle to feel accepted. We go into debt to keep up with a lifestyle that is not our own. We remain silent when our values are violated because we fear being ostracized. This quiet, unconscious conformity is one of the greatest obstacles to building both financial freedom and a sovereign character. The 6th Stoic ritual is the curation of your inner circle. This is a difficult and often painful practice, but it is absolutely essential. You must conduct a ruthless audit of your relationships. You must ask of every person in your life, does this person make me better? Do they raise my standards? Does their presence inspire discipline, or does it encourage weakness? The answers will be immediate and unsettling. This does not mean you must brutally cut people out of your life. It means you must consciously manage the time and energy you allocate to them. You may need to love some people from a distance. You may need to transform a close friendship into a casual acquaintance. And you must actively seek out and cultivate relationships with people who embody the values you wish to strengthen in yourself. You must find your tribe of fellow Stoics, strategists, and builders. Imagine your life as a garden. Some people are flowers that nourish the soil and bring beauty. Others are weeds that choke the life out of everything around them. It is not an act of cruelty to remove the weeds. It is an act of responsibility to the garden. Your duty is to cultivate the most virtuous and powerful version of yourself, and you cannot do that in poisoned soil. You must protect your mental and spiritual environment as fiercely as you protect your bank account. This curation will change everything. When you are surrounded by people who hold you to a higher standard, discipline becomes easier. It becomes the norm. Conversations shift from gossip and complaint to strategy and philosophy. Your own ambitions, which may have seemed audacious in your old circle, will feel normal, even expected, in your new one. You will find that your willpower is not a finite resource, but a resonant frequency that is amplified by those around you. Your 6th task is to perform this audit. Take a piece of paper and write down the names of the 5 people you spend the most time with. Next to each name, write down the primary qualities they bring into your life. Are they a net positive or a net negative on your discipline and ambition? You do not need to share the names, but consider this question for the space below. What is one quality you must seek out in a new friend or mentor to elevate your own standards? Consider the role of gratitude in a world that is engineered to make you feel perpetually dissatisfied. Gratitude is not a soft sentiment. It is a revolutionary act. It is a weapon against the insatiable hunger of consumer culture. The engine of modern commerce runs on one fuel: your feeling of not enough, not thin enough, not rich enough, not successful enough. This manufactured lack is what drives you to buy things you do not need with money you do not have. This constant state of wanting creates a restless, agitated mind. It is a form of self-imposed poverty. A man can be a billionaire and still feel poor if his focus is always on what he lacks. He is living in a mental prison of his own construction. He cannot enjoy the fruits of his labor because he is already fixated on the next acquisition. His wealth brings him no peace, only a more expensive form of anxiety. This is the paradox of pursuit. The more you chase external things to make you happy, the more happiness recedes from you. It is like trying to catch a shadow. The very act of running after it ensures it will always be just ahead. The undisciplined mind is trapped in this chase, believing that the next purchase, the next promotion, the next like will finally deliver the feeling of contentment it craves. It never does. The seventh Stoic ritual is the practice of the gratitude inventory, or the premeditation of the good. It is the conscious and systematic appreciation for what you already have. Each morning, before the world has a chance to tell you what you lack, you will tell yourself what you possess. But you will not focus on material goods. You will focus on things that cannot be bought: the air in your lungs, the functioning of your limbs, the faculty of reason, the relationships you cherish, the challenges that have made you stronger. You are to catalog your true wealth. This is not about pretending your problems do not exist. It is about shifting your baseline perspective. You are training your mind to see the world through a lens of abundance rather than a lens of scarcity. You are starting your day from a position of strength, of fullness, of profound fortune. A man who wakes up feeling truly wealthy is immune to the cheap temptations of the marketplace. This practice rewires your neurology. It starves the neural pathways of envy and desire and nourishes the pathways of contentment and peace. You begin to derive joy, not from acquiring more, but from appreciating more deeply. The simple meal becomes a feast. The walk in the park becomes a luxury. The conversation with a friend becomes a treasure. Your capacity for happiness expands, but your need for external validation shrinks. This inner state of abundance has a powerful effect on your financial behavior. You stop making impulse purchases to get a quick hit of dopamine because you are already operating from a baseline of well-being. You make financial decisions with a calm, rational mind, free from the pull of emotional voids. You become a creator of value rather than just a consumer of it, because you are operating from a place of fullness, not of need. Your seventh task is to build this habit. For the next 30 days, begin each morning by writing down 3 things you are genuinely grateful for, and they cannot be material possessions. Let this be the first input your mind receives. What is one non-material thing in your life right now that if you were to lose it tomorrow, you would desperately want back? Acknowledge this true treasure in the comments. Finally, let us consider the nature of your actions. Every day, you are presented with a series of choices: to wake early or to hit snooze, to exercise or to remain sedentary, to do the difficult work first or to procrastinate with easy tasks, to save or to spend. Each choice is a chisel, and with each choice, you are sculpting a statue. That statue is your character. At the end of your life, you will be left with the finished work. Will it be a masterpiece of discipline and virtue, or a crude, unfinished monument to your own indecision? Many people believe that character is something you are born with, a fixed trait. They separate their identity from their actions. They can act with cowardice, but still see themselves as brave. They can act with indulgence, but still see themselves as disciplined. They live in a state of self-deception, where their idealized image of themselves is protected from the harsh evidence of their daily behavior. This disconnect is the source of all mediocrity. You are not what you think. You are not what you say. You are what you do. Your character is not a noun. It is a verb. It is the sum total of your habits. Every action you take, no matter how small, reinforces a specific identity. When you choose to save that $10 instead of spending it, you are not just $10 richer. You are casting a vote for the identity of a disciplined person. When you choose to wake up and work on your project instead of scrolling, you are casting a vote for a focused creator. The eighth and most crucial Stoic ritual is to live in accordance with your own philosophy. It is the integration of all the other rituals into a seamless whole. It is the closing of the gap between your stated values and your actual behavior. This is the path of the Procopton, the one who is making progress. It is not about achieving perfection. It is about the daily, relentless effort to be slightly better than you were yesterday. It is about integrity, the state of being one, whole, and undivided. Your life becomes your argument. You no longer need to speak of your discipline. Your actions speak for you. You no longer need to display your wealth. Your calm and resilient demeanor is evidence of your true riches. You live by an internal scorecard. The opinion of the crowd becomes irrelevant. You are concerned with only one judgment, that of your own rational, virtuous mind. Are you living in a way that you yourself can respect? This is the ultimate source of fearlessness. When your self-worth is derived from your own actions, from the integrity of your own character, you become invulnerable to external chaos. A market can crash, a job can be lost, an opinion can be offered. None of it can touch the core of who you are. You have built your fortress on the bedrock of virtuous action. Your sense of well-being is not dependent on anything outside of your own control. This is the freedom that the Stoics spoke of. It is a demanding path. It requires constant vigilance, radical honesty, and a willingness to fail and begin again. But the reward is a life of coherence, of power, of deep and abiding peace. You are no longer a collection of conflicting desires, but a unified force moving with purpose and intention. You have sculpted yourself into the person you were always meant to be. Your financial prosperity becomes a natural byproduct of this inner order, a mere reflection of the masterpiece you have built within. Your final task for this journey is to define your masterpiece. What is the one virtue, the one aspect of your character that you are most committed to sculpting with your daily actions? Is it discipline, courage, wisdom, temperance? Declare it below. Let it be a public commitment, not to others, but to the highest version of yourself. This is the statue you will spend the rest of your life creating. The journey does not end here. There is no final destination on the path of the Procopton. There is only the path itself. The rituals we have explored are not a checklist to be completed, but tools to be carried. They are the instruments with which you will continue the quiet, daily work of sculpting your own soul. The fortress you have begun to build within your mind requires constant vigilance. Its walls are maintained not with stone, but with every choice that honors reason over impulse. You came seeking secrets to fearlessness and wealth, perhaps expecting strategies for the market or techniques for accumulation. Instead, you found the keys to an inner kingdom. You learned that true wealth is measured by the number of things you do not need. You discovered that the ultimate currency is not gold, but the disciplined attention you pay to a life of purpose. The silence you once feared has now become your most trusted counselor, the space where wisdom is found. Look at your hands. They are the same hands, but they now understand that the weight they hold is not the weight of a coin, but the weight of a choice. Look at your reflection. It is the same face, but the eyes now know how to distinguish the echo of the crowd from the voice of the self. The emptiness you once tried to fill with possessions is becoming a space of profound freedom. A vault, not for hoarding treasures, but for cultivating a spirit that needs none. This is the power that has been awakened, a quiet fire that does not consume, but illuminates. It is the strength to stand firm in the storm, not because the storm is weak, but because your foundation is sound. When you feel the pull of an old habit, a familiar fear, a convenient lie, you will now recognize it. And in that recognition, you will find a moment of choice. This is where your freedom lives. This is where your character is forged. If these words have served as a mirror, if you have seen a reflection of the person you are called to become, then the purpose of our time together is fulfilled. The act of sharing this, of leaving your mark in the thoughts below, of joining this digital stoa, this is no longer an algorithm's game. It becomes a declaration. It is a signal to yourself and to others that you are committed to the work. It is the choice to walk this path with fellow architects of the self. You have been given the blueprint. The tools are in your hands. The noise of the world will not cease, but you have learned to build a sanctuary of silence within. The only question that remains is the one you must now live into. When the fortress is built and the chaos is quieted, what chains remain if not the ones you refuse to see? The architect is you. The marble is you. Begin.